ago, we came from 6 different schools, and tonight we leave as one. Welcome, friends, parents, teachers, and classmates to the 1995 graduation ceremony. We thank you, the taxpayers of Paris and Henry County, for providing us with one of the finest facilities in the state of Tennessee. To the teachers, administration, thank you for your help and your guidance. You have prepared us well. And to my fellow classmates, as we leave tonight, I know that many of you will leave with many cherished memories. I appreciate all the help and support you have given me over the past 4 years. You're the greatest friends anyone could ever ask for. To each of you, I wish you the best and pray that God will keep and bless each of you as we go our separate ways. You may be seated.
The 1995 graduating class of Henry County High School has a class motto. It reads, "Destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a matter of choices. It isn't a thing to be waited for, it's a thing to be achieved." Roughly 2,340 school days ago, we started school in kindergarten. Unintentionally and unofficially, we entered into a contract with the Board of Education. It is a give and take contract. Over the years, some of us would probably take more than others. Some of us learned as much as we could, while others resisted and had to add another 180 school days to achieve graduation. We didn't know we were already living our class motto. Destiny isn't a matter of chance, it's a matter of choice. It isn't a thing to be waited for, it's a thing to achieve. And achieve we did. We sit here before you, proof of our choices, shaping our destiny. The school system of Henry County has worked for most of us here. Our foundation is now laid. Now we must begin building upon it. This will be harder to achieve than before, because the choices we must make are more our own than ever before, because we now must choose our own forum. Our school system had a large hand in providing the forum and the curriculum to get us where we are today. But now we must choose our own forum. That may come in the form of college, technical school, trade school, or entry-level factory work, to name a few. It's our choice. Our faith gives us the 10 Commandments. Our education, not one ideal. Be true to yourself. Be true to yourself. Education covers a broad spectrum. It's the classwork, it's a job after school, team sports, it's commitment to faith and family. All successful and fulfilling when you are true to yourself. The most obvious example is Michael Jordan. He was true to himself. He left basketball and went to play baseball. As I said, he was true to himself. I'm sure there isn't a person here who isn't aware of his choices, and we all have opinions. But see, he didn't change for the publicity, nor the money, nor the prestige. He didn't change because it would be easier. He didn't change because everybody else wanted him to. He changed because he wanted to. He was true to himself. Was it worth it? I'm sure we all have opinions, but only he can answer that. He must share our class motto. Live by it. Make choices, not chances. Don't wait for it, achieve it. With that, I leave you. I too must relinquish my contract with the Board of Education. We are here because of all of you. You put us here. You did our job. You did your job. Thank you. Last and not least, my family knows what support they have been. I thank you. And to my sister Jackie, you helped so much. You worked for me when I had ball practices. You stayed home and babysitted for Alex and Jennifer so Mom and Dad could come to the ball games. You gave up so much. You are the essence of, he's not heavy, he's my brother. I thank you. And well, and to my mom, you always kept me up and going when everything was down. I thank you. To my dad, I thank you for showing me that life isn't always fun and games. There is a thing called responsibility. I thank you for that. Thank you.
My fellow classmates, after today, we will depart on 2 different roads. I hope that each road will lead to one thing, success. I am not talking about success in terms of material things such as wealth. I am talking about a much greater success, the acquisition of knowledge. A few weeks ago, I read an editorial in the Tennessean about the value of a good education. Here is the author's story. Some years ago, the author was employed at the University of Memphis for an annual salary of $5,000. At that time, tuition was about $300 yearly. A new, full-size Chevy was about $2,000. A new home cost about $10 per square foot. The author gladly went into debt for the Chevy, the house, and the college education. His car wore out. His house now looks pretty shabby, but his education is still working. The author states that his education is still the best bargain he ever had. I hope that each of us will take this story to heart. As we go into the next millennium, the knowledge that we obtain will be put to great use. We, as a generation, must find the cures for AIDS and cancer. We must lead this country into an era of new technology. We must secure world peace for future generations. Together, we can accomplish anything. The future depends on us. Each of us is on a mission to make the world a better place. And as we progress further in our lives and achieve great things, let us not forget the past and the people who have influenced our lives. Let us not forget our parents who have cared for us and nurtured us. They have shared in our joys and our sorrows. They have consoled us in our times of distress and have beamed with pride at our successes. They have devoted their lives to us. Let us not forget our teachers who have shared their knowledge with us. They have helped us achieve things we never thought were possible. And finally, let us not forget our friends. They have made our lives memorable. I hope that each of us will carry memories of our friends in our hearts forever. I know that I will. As we end one chapter of our lives today, another chapter is waiting to be written. I pray that this new chapter will be as full of life and happiness as the last chapter. Fill this new chapter with lessons learned, memories shared, and dreams realized. Good luck and congratulations, class of 1995.
Good evening. I would like to share with you some of my high school experiences in the next 20 minutes. Just kidding. Instead, I want you this evening to picture a sunrise. The sky lightens. The birds sing their exultation in the warmth of the new day as gorgeous colors creep across the sky, proving there cannot be an end to yesterday without the dawn of a new tomorrow. Friends, we graduate from high school, but take with us our experiences, our good times as well as our bad. We have acquired friendships, steadfast relationships, and memories to cherish. It is time, fellow graduates, to consider the next step. Change brings the opportunity for new beginnings. Beginning today, we, as the graduating class of 1995, have the opportunity for even greater success. But what is success? Webster defines it as the gaining of wealth and fame. I would like to consider the second definition, success as a favorable result. It is the result of our lives' works which determine success. Long after we are gone, the seeds planted in our lifetimes will continue to bear fruit. Success is spurring others onward, kindling the fire of hope to blaze in others. True success renders happiness. Sir Wilfrid Grenfell once said that real joy comes not from ease or riches or from the praise of men, but from doing something worthwhile. According to David Grayson, contentment comes as the infallible result of great acceptances, great humilities, of not trying to make ourselves this or that, but of surrendering ourselves to the fullness of life, of letting life flow through us. There are certain aspects necessary for a successful life. Imagine, if you will, a chair with its 4 legs. What would happen if one of those legs were removed? Of course, the chair would topple. Now, let us consider the chair of life. We will label the first leg wisdom. Proverbs declares that the wise inherit honor. Apply your heart to understanding. Look for it as silver, and search for it as for hidden treasure. Then you will find knowledge. Riches of the mind are obtained through a good education, through victories as well as through hardships. For wisdom is not the totality of intelligence, but rather the application of knowledge. The next chair leg is stature. It is nourished by a strong family unit to build character, instill high values, and provide support with unconditional love. It is important as you press onward to never forget your roots. I know a man who was valedictorian of his class and graduated from college and professional graduate school with the highest honors. All of this, however, is not what makes him successful. His success stems from the kind of life he lives, a life devoted to serving the Lord, helping others, and preaching the gospel. My father is the most successful person I know, and I thank God for my father and mother. The third and fourth chair legs to balance that chair of life are to be in favor with man and God. Each one should use whatever gift he has received to serve others, faithfully administering God's grace in its various forms. Monty Babcock once said, "Life is what we are alive to. It is not length, but breadth. To be alive only to appetite, pleasure, pride, money-making, and not to goodness and kindness, purity and love, God and eternal hopes, is to be all but dead." Success is not riches obtained in this world. It is what we overcome while achieving. In the words of Ralph Waldo Emerson, to know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. As we take our next step, fellow graduates, let us consider true success. The world awaits. Let us embrace our success achieved, strive on toward greater goals, and give the glory to God. Thank you.
Mr. Henson, Mr. Young, and members of the Board of Education, faculty and staff members of Henry County High School, parents and honored guests, and distinguished members of the 1994-95 graduating class of Henry County High School, I extend my heartfelt thanks to each of you for allowing me to stand before you this evening and to address you, this honorable group of young men and women. As I begin tonight, I'm reminded of the words of Jenkins Lloyd Jones, who noted, "A speech is a solemn responsibility. The man who makes a bad 30-minute speech to 200 people wastes only half an hour of his own time, but he wastes 100 hours of the audience's time. That's more than 4 days, which should be a hanging offense." 25 years ago this month, Henry County High School graduated its first graduating class. I sat in that same historical group of graduates, anxiously awaiting the final announcement as my name would be called. I would walk across the platform to receive my diploma, presented at that time by Mr. John Underwood, Superintendent Kermit Kemp, and School Board Chairman Tip Bowdman. 12 years of work and play would finally be complemented with the presentation of my high school diploma. It was a night of excitement and great expectation. As I look back now, I still occasionally pull down the old yearbook and read those special notes written by past friends and laugh at the stark contrast of present looks to pictures of those same friends like Mr. Henson. Many memories are forgotten, now covered with the dust of more recent achievements and the sheer business of more present pressing affairs. But I, like you, will remember for some time to come the more vivid realities of the last 4 years. For many of you, the 1994-95 graduating class, it will be a remembrance of years of academic excellence, rewards that will be forthcoming in the announcement of thousands of dollars of scholarships, success that has been achieved through burning the proverbial midnight oil, through self-discipline and the guidance of supportive parents. You have said no to some of the social events or gatherings in order to prepare for that exam or work on that project that had to be finished. For others, you will remember the hours upon hours of blood and sweat and pain as you strove to make the athletic team as a freshman and have continued for the past 4 years to work to make all of the Henry County athletic teams the champions that they really are in the state of Tennessee. Still others will remember the hours of rehearsal for theater productions, madrigal performances, and band concerts that have entertained thousands of people both in Henry County and nationally. Each of you have been traveling ambassadors for Henry County as you've traveled across the state and elsewhere, proudly carrying the banner of Big Red as a Henry County patriot. Stars, drug-free club members, DECA members, building trades, FTA, FCA, on and on, the groups of young people of Henry County High School who have brought pride to families, civic leaders, and each of us here tonight goes on and on. Still others of this group will remember so many other things about Henry County High School. Some will remember how when their parents were asked by a friend, "How are your children doing in school?" they responded, "Better, but we still go to PTO meetings under an assumed name." Some of you out there will remember telling your teacher when she asked why you haven't brought your report card back, "You gave me an A, and my parents are still mailing it out for relatives to see." And unfortunately for some of you, your memories will be of times that I, or your other teachers, or a coach, or the administration may have seemingly in your mind failed you. And if we have, then my prayer for you is that you will be able to accept the fact that we are all human and are not the perfect persons we would all like to be. I exhort you, graduates of Henry County High School, and admonish you as you leave this evening to recognize this not as the end of your journey, but just as the beginning. 13 years ago, many of you stepped into the school for the first time as a kindergarten student. You left the dock of your home and climbed aboard the USS Education. You anticipated for days going to and were excited when you finally did go to school, just as I, as an applicant for the teacher in space, looked forward to and anticipated stepping on board the Space Shuttle Challenger and blasting off into space should I have been elected for that opportunity. For 12 years you've worked on board the USS Education, preparing for the moment when the ropes holding you to the pier will be loosed and you launch off onto the sea of life for a new destination. As these ropes are loosed, you now begin a new portion of your voyage of life. Lying before you will be both calm waters and rough, clear deep channels free of obstructions, and at times narrow channels filled with obstacles ready to tear your vessel apart. Sometimes along your journey you will anchor in smooth, protected harbors, while at times you will have to weather the tough, often turbulent waters of life. The tools you've received in your training will allow you to calmly and decisively make the proper decisions to keep your vessel afloat and your cargo safe and secure. I encourage you to draw from the fountain of knowledge that flows around you. And remember that in society today, it's never a sin to be ignorant, but terribly wrong to remain that way. The opportunity to continue your education, to seek higher degrees of knowledge, are afforded anyone who will be willing to seek. Never forget that to whom much is given, much shall be required. The biblical parable of the talents teaches us not that we will be rewarded for what we've done, but instead we'll be rewarded for what we've done with the ability we have been given. Let me encourage you to make the decision now to make a better you. What you are right now is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. Take the talent that you've been given and make your corner of the world a better place. Finally, I'm reminded of a story once told of a wise man and two young men who would challenge his position. One day, the two young men came to the wise man with a question. They knew he would never be able to answer that question. They came to him, and one was holding a nightingale clasped gently in his hands. "Wise man," they said, "answer this question. The nightingale I hold in my hands, is it alive or is it dead?" The wise man thought carefully before answering. He knew that if he said dead, the young man would open his hands and release the bird unharmed. But if he answered alive, then the young man would squeeze the life from that innocent bird. Finally, the wise man said to the young men, "The answer is within your hands. The decision is yours to determine." So it is for you graduates tonight. You've reached a milestone, but your journey has really just begun. As you launch forth, do so with courage, with fortitude, and with determination. Lean on those you love in times of need, and know that the best is yet to come. Thank you, and may God bless you on your journey.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 25th Annual Henry County High School Commencement Ceremony. For those of you who have heard me speak before, you'll be glad to know that I don't have a speech tonight. And we're not going to read all the scholarships. We're going to do what we think is most important and get right to announcing and identifying and introducing our seniors to you tonight. First, before we start that, I want to recognize the people on the stage with me, Ms. Suzanne Steele, who's president of the senior class, Mr. John Harrison, he's vice president of the class. Mr. John Pascal is our valedictorian. Miss Amy Nyack is the salutatorian. Mr. Brent Laird is the honorable mention student this year. I'd like to thank Mr. David Jackson, our speaker, and also the band and chorus for helping us tonight to put this program on. All the faculty in Henry County who's helped the students get to this point in their lives, and the parents who've probably been most important of all in this activity. I want to thank Mr. Young, Mr. Gerald Young, and Mr. William Atchison, the superintendent of the board, for assisting with the passing out of the diplomas. And I believe this is the first year that we've ever been able to have our whole Board of Education with us for our graduation ceremonies. I'd like to introduce them to you and ask them to stand when I introduce them. Mr. Gerald Young, chairman of the board. Mr. Doug Taylor. Mr. Martin Hayes. Ms. Dorothy Washburn. Dr. Terry Harrison, and Mr. Steve Wright. And we certainly appreciate the work they do for us, and thank you for being here tonight. I'd like to tell you briefly that there are 280 graduates being honored tonight, and after tonight's ceremony, they'll have the 6th annual project graduation at the National Guard Armory here in Henry County. And they've earned a total of $386,565 worth of scholarships for this senior class. At this time, I'd like to present to you the senior class of Henry County High School for 1995. Suzanne Adele Steele, Edward Brent Laird, Amy Conti Nyack, John Charles Pascal, John Alfred Harrison, Sarah Denise Abbey, Aaron Halls Alexander, Matthew Lynn Allen. Let me ask you in advance, please hold the noise down and let us honor our graduates so that you can hear their names called and their families can see them when they come across. Oscar Allen Apple Jr., Deborah Ann Ballou, Heather Banks, Tabitha Barnhill, Daniel Robert Basil, Mickey Leon Basham II, Darrell Orlando Battles, Charles Beecham, Ali, Carrie Ann Barry, Blackburn. Christy Claudette Bowden. Victoria Taylor. Brian Charles Brace. Tracy Lynn Brewer. Jason. Tiffany Nicole Brown. Gus Colius. Eric Martin Bundy. Mary Elizabeth Burt. Alicia Nicole. Brian Timothy Carroll. Joseph Jr. Michael. Joshua Dale Crosno. Kimberly Alice Crouch. Mickey Dale Crouch. Ricky Allen Crouch. George Douglas. Elliot. Ellie Jane Ferris Jr. Tom David. Mike. Wesley H. Holcomb, Jr., Jerry Lee Holland, Jr., W. Lindsay, Stephen Michael Mates, Amy Smith, Martin, Andy Carroll Snow, Billy Michael Somerville, Angie Faye Sowell, Marty Lee Spears, Darren Allen Spate, Sandra Catherine Spillers, Don Lewis Steele, Autumn Lynn Starrett, Clinton W. Stuke, Johannan Stout, Mary Michelle Strickland, Shelley Unica Lakeisha Taylor, Tristan Lawrence Teague, Alicia Tharp, Dwight Antul Tharp, Jaquita Renee Tharp, Leanne Tharp, Philistine Tharp, Shondale Tharp, Tamika Michelle Tharp, Russell Pascal Thompson, Scott Thompson, Kenneth Thorson, Shannon Marie Tormey, Heather Lee Townsend, Luke Arnold Townsend, Lisa Ann Troll, Dawn Marie Turner, Karen Lee Tusa, Leanne Valentine, Marty Lynn Valentine, Heather Renee Veazey, Laura Renee Vineyard, Charles W. Wade III, Thomas Kenneth Wagenhauser, Amanda Rachel Wagoner, Jason O'Neill Walker, Eric Wallet, Loretta Lynn Ward, Justin Watkins, Johnny Bodine Watts, Shawanda Webb, Jennifer Leanne Wire, Melanie Dawn White, Billie Jean Williams, Brandon Rashad Williams, Jamie Lynn Williams, Mark Allen Williams, For those of you